Here and welcome back to another video. So in this video we do have some pretty fantastic news for Splatoon Raiders. They recently dropped the price for the game and release date, which by the way that price is actually pretty fantastic and it might surprise you guys. And one of the fantastic things about this news is that it might actually make the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake a little bit more real, at least when it comes to the information that's coming from Nate the Hate, including other information like Star Fox. So we're going to cover some of that information and how that plays into what we could see this month and of course the following months when it comes to the big Nintendo Direct, because I still think we're going to be having that June Nintendo Direct. We also have a rumor for Hogwarts Legacy 2, which is really fantastic, and if you wanted to see that game you might be really happy with this rumor. And a bunch of other cool topics, rumors, news. If you found this information helpful or you enjoy listening to news, leaks, rumors, and discussions about Nintendo, sometimes Microsoft and sometimes PlayStation, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and of course leave a like. It really does go a long way when you do that. So first up, let's start with Splatoon Raiders. So Splatoon Raiders just got a new trailer, which is actually really surprising because it makes me wonder when we're going to receive that big Nintendo Direct, or at the very least the next Nintendo Direct, which could be like a partner Direct, right? So the release date for Splatoon Raiders is going to be July 23rd, which is actually really shocking because that would be before the rumored June Nintendo Direct. And I say rumored lightly because I mean we always get a June Nintendo Direct. I highly doubt Nintendo's gonna be skipping a June Nintendo Direct for reasons that I will state later in this video. But moving on to the price of Splatoon Raiders. So Splatoon Raiders is going to be $49.99 digital and $59.99 digital. Now I think the reason why they're pricing this is probably because of that variable pricing that they spoke of near the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. But this is actually really fantastic because it's not like, you know, $70 or $80, which is absolutely ridiculous and does show that some games may actually be a bit cheaper. Stealth 40k does bring up an interesting point too. He says Splatoon Raiders is $49.99 digital and $59.99 physical. Nintendo is definitely trying to incentivize digital purchasing. I got a question for you guys. If Nintendo started to make games a lot cheaper when they're digital, would you buy more digital games or would you not care about that and go for physical because you prefer physical? Personally, I prefer physical, but if money is tight, I may just do digital if it does end up saving money. Like I always say in my videos, I like to save money, so that's something that I'm always looking forward, or at least looking for, but I do prefer physical. I mean, some may say it's just $10, but $10 is like $10 for gas, right? Now that's not the only Splatoon Raiders news that was dropped. It seems that we do have some new amiibos and they're going to be $24.99 each. They're on your screen right now. What does this mean for other games coming that was part of Nate the Hate's Nintendo Switch rumors and leaks? He said something pretty interesting and it really does add some more truth to what he was saying during that podcast. So I want you guys to check out this clip right here from his podcast.
Nintendo's summer lineup just keeps hitting after that. Because after Star Fox hits, we will see Splatoon Raiders release this summer.
Okay.
Rhythm Heaven will come out this summer as well. And we will have Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave come out for Switch 2 in the summer of 2026.
And here's another clip on the Zelda remake stuff as well. And the other clip also had Fire Emblem Fortune Weave. So you're starting to see a lineup of games leading into holiday 2026. But anyways, here's the clip. And then after that, we're going to talk about that.
Good.
So there is another anniversary this year. And it's the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. And everyone has been wondering, what are we going to get for a Zelda celebration? We're entering April. We've heard nothing about Zelda's 40th anniversary. What I can share with you today is that in the second half of 2026, approaching the holidays, if not the holidays, we are going to receive an Ocarina of Time remake.
Ooh.
For Switch 2.
Wow. Now
and this is something I was a bit hesitant about in January. I was like, I don't know if they would do a full remake. I thought maybe they would do an HD remaster. But no, I'm hearing an Ocarina of Time remake.
So with all this information in mind, why does Splatoon Raiders actually give this information a little bit more credit? Well, because he was right about the release date of Splatoon Raiders, and it's very interesting if all of this does become correct, because that means there's a lot of different things that we could see just this summer, and not only news from the Nintendo Direct that's coming up, which I assume again is going to be in June. Which, as far as we know, according to Nate the Hate, we are getting a June Nintendo Direct, which is very, very exciting. And the big thing here, I think, don't get me wrong, I love Star Fox. I love the fact that this does give a little bit more truth to that Star Fox information that's going to be dropping this month, which, by the way, make sure you're subscribed so you can get a notification bell on that. I'm going to make a short straight away when that drops. But I think the big focus here is the Zelda remake, and a lot of people do want to see that. I'm going to make a video that kind of condenses a lot of this information into a nice video, especially when it comes to like other information that's out there as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for that, because that will be dropping in the next couple of days. Of course, links to each podcast will be down in the description below if you guys do want to watch that whole thing by yourself and subscribe to Nate the Hate. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this, because I know some people don't really like believing in these rumors and leaks, even when it comes to Nate the Hate. I always say that you should consider these fake. Even with this stuff, I think you guys should consider this fake just in case it doesn't happen. That's always the big warning that I like to give out. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. So moving on to the next topic, we do still have a lot of cool information. There is a rumor going around that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to be revealed, and it's gonna be pretty soon. So TKR Gaming over on Twitter says, rumor, the announcement for Hogwarts Legacy 2 could come soon. This game is planned to release next year. Now, if this rumor is true, that's gonna be really fantastic, because I love Hogwarts Legacy 1. I'm a big Harry Potter fan myself. I read all the books. Can't really say I'm too excited for the TV show, but everything else I'm pretty excited for when it comes to Harry Potter. And when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy itself, I really love the first game, and I'm hoping this one is as good or even better. I do want to reread through the books again just because I love them. Moving on to some little details on Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. So according to Insider Gaming over on Twitter, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced features reworked animus with new moments. Now, I kind of figured that was going to be the case. I figured they're going to add a whole bunch of new things if they're doing a full ground up remake. And since then, some things from Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced have leaked, and the Twitter account for Assassin's Creed has actually responded to these things, and it's really fantastic, because some of these leaks, I'm a little iffy. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It doesn't look good, in my personal opinion. It looks like an improvement, but that's really not too hard when Assassin's Creed Black Flag came out on the PS3, you know? But in my previous video, it's one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, and I want it to be absolutely amazing. This is what the Assassin's Creed account said. Hey, this is footage from an old internal version of the game. It's unfortunate it got out, but the good news is you only have to wait one more day for the official reveal. Now, this is really fantastic. I do like when accounts and people who work in the industry, when leaks happen and things like that, like even when it comes to, like, let's say the DC Universe Online, you'll see James Gunn come out and say that, you know, this is not true, debunking rumors and stuff. I like when companies do that, because it sets up more expectations for when the final product is revealed. You don't want your expectations, well, I guess in this case, if it was this low, then they revealed something that looks massively better. I guess that would work in their favor, but I do like when companies come out and say these things, because it does set up expectations, and it kind of calms a little bit of fears that people have, you know, when their favorite game is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. According to another recent leak for Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, they say on this Twitter account, which is GameGPU_com, a recent leak from Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced presentation revealed a completely overhauled combat system. Ubisoft has made the fights much faster, smoother, and heavy focused on dynamic action. That's one of the things I really liked about the earlier Assassin's Creed games, those cool finisher moves, or just the dynamic action that you had in the combat, taking on multiple people. I know some of it was a little bit arcadey, but that's one of the charm of the earlier games, in my personal opinion. Maybe you disagree with that. So I'm glad they're kind of emphasizing that even more in this remake, which should, on paper anyways, enhance what was done before. Fingers crossed though. Moving on to some more new Nintendo Switch games that are going to be releasing and launching on the Nintendo Switch. So apparently Rum Brawl is going to be releasing on the Nintendo Switch. This is what Nintendo Everything has to say. Dojo Systems has just announced that its newest game, Rum Brawl, will be arriving on Nintendo Switch later this week, launching on April 23rd. So that's going to be tomorrow, actually. On to a next topic. So a cult classic from Nintendo 64 might actually be coming back. So this is what VGC says. Stay tuned, it sounds like Cult 64 shooter Buck Bumble is really coming back. It seems the developers Argonaut Games is teasing some upcoming news on the game, which is pretty interesting. I always like seeing older games coming back. Like, I would absolutely love it if, like, Glover 64, oh, you know what would be actually really cool, that series that would come back? Jet Force Gemini. I would love a new game in that series, just purely off nostalgia, probably. I think it would actually be cool to make a video where I talk about, like, just smaller games coming back, like Quest 64, I don't know, Glover, maybe, what was that one ninja game from GameCube? iNinja would be pretty cool. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about today's topics down in the comment section below, and, you know, why not tell me what games you would like to see come back on the Nintendo Switch 2, or maybe if you own like a PC or PS5 or Xbox, what games you would like to see on those consoles as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.